Welcome to the Donnie Simpson Show. Special guest today. I know every day I have a special guest, but today is really special. Known this guy for a long time. We go way back to Video Soul. I'm just thrilled to have him on the show today. Will Downing.
Good to see
Hello,
you,
Will
sir.
Downing.
Man,
How you
great
doing, man?
Very well, sir.
Oh, good, man.
I think last time I sat on this couch, I might have had hair.
It was that long ago?
It might have been. It might have been. I might have had a few follicles left. Very few.
So, but you look good bald,
Well,
man.
they say the second thing to go is your eyes. Your lady let you about the first one.
That's funny. So when you went bald, was it just naturally you were losing your hair, or it was the stylish thing to do?
I didn't realize I was going bald until I went to the barber, and I said, "Hey, can you take it?" He looked at me like, "Bruh, it's over. It's over." He's starting to look like Sherman Hemsley. I was getting like the toilet bowl around the head look. The hair was just growing on the sides and nothing in the middle. So yeah, it was time.
The hole in the afro.
The hole in the afro, yeah. You don't have to worry about that. It's not.
Well, not yet.
Yeah.
So far,
No, you're fine.
been pretty good.
You're fine.
But, I think about it.
No.
But when I started going gray, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do something really different. Like I'm gonna dye it blonde.
Wow. No.
Decided not to.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of not you.
No, let's not this week. No.
Right. So how's life been for you, man?
Man, life has been lifing.
Yeah. Well, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're just still in it though. Still making music.
Yeah.
Up to working on album number 29. Believe it or not.
Are you serious?
I cannot be any more serious.
29?
Yeah. I'm not good looking and smart like you, Donnie.
Well,
When you ain't good looking and smart, you got to use what you got. This is all I got. It's just this voice.
wow, 29 albums.
Yeah.
So what year was your first album?
1988.
So you've done 29 albums since then?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, I'm working on 29. 28 officially. Working on 29.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
and that's not
amazing.
counting like best ofs and all that stuff. Straight albums. I've done 28 of them. Yeah.
Well, so when will this one be released? How close are you?
I just started, but I'm doing like EPs now. So it's like, probably minimally about 5 or 6 songs per project. And that's what we're calling albums now because, if you do 10, you're just going to get your feelings hurt a lot quicker. It's just the bottom line. It's just this, that people have a desire for music constantly. Like you can't put music out fast enough. For the public these days. So you have to have something out to let people know that you're still alive, you're still relevant and all of that. So yeah, you just keep going.
Wow. And then there's Frankie Beverly.
And then there's Frankie Beverly.
Right.
Who released a couple of albums and then, didn't anyone hear anything new from him. It's like, just do the classics.
Right.
So I don't have enough classics, so I just got to keep going till I finally pen a classic.
But you enjoy this process, right?
It's got its moments. It's got its moments.
Yeah.
But when you're invested in it like this, you just keep going.
But it's changed a lot, right? That whole process.
Yeah.
I mean, recording studios. I remember seeing something on TV one day. They were interviewing Will.i.am. They were talking about how he did a whole song. He had an idea for a song, and he did it on his laptop, sitting in front of the Louvre.
Right.
In Paris.
Yeah.
And did the whole song.
I've done whole albums. I've never seen another human being.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone has a home studio, and we just mail files back and forth.
Wow.
And I'll just say, okay, I didn't like this. This needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Take this out. And I'll send a file to them of a lead vocalist and background vocals, and we sort of Frankenstein records together.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that, though? I mean, does it feel as genuine, as real as the way you used to do it when you had everybody in the studio with you?
Of course not. No,
Yeah.
no, but the outcome is still the same. At least, from the public standpoint, no one has ever said that they didn't like something. It's just the process is just different. And, the times are changing, man. We were talking about this off camera, but times have changed. You got to change with the times. If that's the way people are doing stuff, that's what you go with.
Yeah. Well, I would guess it saves you a lot of money, studio time, right?
It does, but there's nothing wrong with having someone around you that says, hey, man, you hit it 2 takes ago. Or that was a good line.
Yeah.
Or stop. When you work from home, you know, I'll do something and I'll wake up the next morning. I'll think it's amazing when I'm finished, and I'll wake up the next morning, I'll listen to it. Oh, no, I'm gonna do it again. And you can sit there all day, and there's a line that may be a little ahead or a little behind, and you end up shifting and just moving stuff around. And you can do that all day. Like a picture, like you see a blemish. Let me remove the blemish. There's a line. Let me remove the line. There's a speckle. Let me remove the speckle. So you can do that all day long. So there's a good part and a bad part to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I mean, you know, like for me doing radio, and the one thing I always liked about radio was that 60 seconds is a minute. You know, and even with the early years of Video Soul, we did it live, and that's always what I preferred. You know, whatever happens, happens. It's just, you know.
I was with you when social media wasn't that big of a deal. These days, if anything is not perfect looking or perfect sounding, you can get skewered. I mean, it's...
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It could be career making and breaking.
Yeah.
Why do you think you see all these pictures, you know, when you see an album cover, or if you see, and it's perfection? You go, oh my God, you know, there's no, this person hasn't aged, this person hasn't, you know, people sit there and they take the lines out and they remove this and they straighten the teeth and they whiten the teeth and they did. But, you know, it's the same thing with music. You hear these perfect sounding records, and if you have the ability to do it, then use the technology and do it. Make it the best it could be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned Frankie Beverly a couple of minutes ago, and I was just thinking about a conversation I had with him about that. And we were talking. He was talking about how he would leave mistakes.
Right.
You know that, but then he was recording 40 years ago too.
Right.
And but that if the feel was right, if it felt good. Then he left the mistakes. And I just totally understood that. Like I never would watch myself on TV. I hated it.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Because you're so critical of yourself. And I always felt like the thing that I don't have to be perfect. All I have to do is be me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I felt like analyzing it, looking at it, I would become too analytical, and I don't want that.
Yeah, but that comes with age and wisdom. You know, you've been doing this for a very long time, so that's kind of what you were raised on. These kids don't know anything other than this. This is all they know. They know perfection, they know computers, they know technology. You know, they know that they can get to do it again. They know that they can fix it. They came up in that era, so they don't know anything about. They don't know anything about bands. There's no more bands left. They don't know the sensation of playing or performing in front of someone where the drummer inspires something that the bass player will do. The bass player inspires something that the guitar player will do. The guitar player will inspire something that the keyboard player will do. The keyboard player will inspire something that the background vocalist will do. The background vocalist will inspire something that the lead vocalist will do. That's what music is, playing off each other.
Yeah.
And when you hear it, that's what it is. You hear a sparkle here. Oh man, something jumped out. That's why when you listen to the classic records, you can listen to them over and over again and hear something new every time that you listen to it. So they don't understand that beauty.
Yeah. You know, I've always said that about like Marvin Gaye.
Right.
It's like, when I die, it's like, put him in the casket with me. You know, because I've been listening, there are albums I've been listening to by Marvin for 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've heard them 100,000 times. And every time I listen, I hear something I never heard before.
Right.
And I love that. So I need an eternity to try to figure out all the layering that Marvin did on his albums.
Yeah. Well, think of it musically and then think of it visually. Even if you look at an Earth, Wind & Fire album cover, or if you look at a Funkadelic album cover, you can look at those every day for the rest of your life and see something new. Because it was on a big format.
Yeah.
And you could see it and, you know.
Well, can I just say this? That if you're just going to talk about looking at album covers, I don't think I could find anything I never saw on Ohio Players album cover.
Saw the honey.
Those are well looked at.
You saw the honey. You saw the fire. You saw the bald-headed woman. You saw the, know. Oh, yeah, all that.
I saw it all, bro.
Yes, sir. I heard about it. I heard. I haven't seen it myself.
So growing up, who were you into?
Ohio Players.
Really?
Slave, Earth, Wind & Fire. My parents were very classic. So Nat King Cole, Ray Charles, those were, that was like, there were staples in my household.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, I didn't have any money, so I listened to whatever my brother and my older sisters would listen to. So whatever they bought in the house, that's what I checked out.
Yeah. So how many kids were there?
It's four of us all together. Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Were your mother and father musicians?
No, I'm the only person that's in music in the family.
Really?
Yes, I very well could have been adopted. Easily could have been adopted. But no, I'm the only one with any musical anything.
Really?
And they didn't want me to do any of this.
What did they want you to do?
My mother was a school teacher, and my two sisters were teachers as well. And my brother was an electrical engineer. So something like that.
Yeah.
Like they would introduce us to, their friends, and they was like, this is my daughter Linda, she's a principal. This is my daughter Myra, she does special ed. This is my son Jarreau, he's an electrical engineer, and
that's Will.
Yeah. And there he is.
But they had to be proud. I mean, once they saw what happened with your career, I mean.
When they thought I made it, and this is going to sound bizarre, when they saw my name in Jet magazine.
That's not bizarre, I get that.
I made the top 20 or something like that, and I had done records, prior to that.
Yeah.
I had music out, but I showed up in Jet magazine, and they were, this is my son, this is him. The other three kids, him, he's in Jet.
No, isn't that something? But to me, like when I would speak to students in schools, one thing I would talk about, because sometimes, I would say, like even college is not for everybody.
Right.
The parents just, they don't want to hear that, because sometimes they have certain paths that they have planned for you.
Yeah.
I said, but ultimately, all they want is for you to be happy.
Well, yeah, they want you to be happy. They want to know that you could survive.
Yeah.
And they've done enough so that you can survive, so you know how to survive. Yeah. I didn't know I was going to be doing this, to be honest with you. I was going into the military.
Wow.
Yeah, right out of high school. Me and my buddy Ralph, we were signing up for the Buddy Buddy program in the Marines. So you do 20 years together. So everywhere one went, the other one went. And I'm at the recruiter's office, and I had my pen on the paper, and they looked, oh, hey, man, you're 17. He said, when do you turn 18? I said, November. And that was in June. And they said, well, you got to get your parents' permission. I went home with the paperwork. My father passed away in 2015. I can still hear him laughing to this day when I said, hey, man, I need you to sign this paper so I can go into the Marines. He said, you and Ralph are going to protect the nation. You two. and he wouldn't sign.
Really?
He would not sign. And I was bopping around Brooklyn, which is where I'm from, and I ran into one of my teachers. And he said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. I said, I'm waiting until November, and then I'm going to go into the military. And he goes, no, you're not going to do that. And he says, you can sing. I said, so what am I going to do? He said, I got a scholarship that you can have. It's a school in Richmond, Virginia, called Virginia Union University, and they'll give you a scholarship and you can go to school. He said, but just go for a year, and if you go and you like it, then, just wait.
Yeah.
The military will always be there.
Yeah.
And just go. And I went there, and I loved it. And then I started working on music, and I flew back to New York every weekend as much as I could to work on music because my friends were starting to make it in the business. And then I started getting gigs. I started singing background for people, and it just sort of snowballed into what we got. I mean, I still had a day job because I had a child as well, but it sort of morphed into 28 albums.
Wow. And I mean, and no regrets. This has been fantastic for you.
No, not at all.
And I got to say this, one thing that I've always admired about you and your career is that you found your pocket.
Yeah.
And you live in it, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're not trying to become someone else's, reinventing yourself, being something.
Right.
It's like, Will, Man, it's like opening a bottle of Coke. I know what I'm going to get.
You know what you're going to get.
With Will Downing, I know what I'm going to get. And that's good.
Well, it hasn't been an easy road because there's always been some opposition to my thought process of who I am and what I can do and what I do best.
People at the record company?
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on, this is a business.
Yeah.
You know, so as the times changed and sound changed, they kind of insisted that I would try something, and I tried. And if it didn't work, you know, I always had like my staples. I always knew what people wanted from me because people always let me know. Mm-hmm. Sing ballads, sing mid-tempo songs, just find better songs.
Yeah.
And every project that I've ever done, the whole process is to be better than you were the project before. Mm. So you listen to it, you find the flaws. I could have done this better. I could have done this in another key. I could have slowed this down. I could have layered this and made it a little bigger. I could have made it a little smaller. And you know, and then you just keep trying to perfect it. And so that's the inspiration for every project, to be better than I was before.
And do you feel like you've done that? Have you accomplished that?
I'm really pleased with what I have now with this latest project.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the old adage. What is it? You try, you fail, try again. This time, fail better. So that's an old saying. Yeah. So yeah, I'm always trying to fail better.
Yeah. I tried. That's one of the songs you did, right?
I did. Angela Bofill. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you killed it.
Oh, well, thank you. And Angie thought so too.
Yeah. Is there anybody whose song you wouldn't mess with? Anybody you wouldn't try?
I try not to mess with Luther. I try not to mess with Donnie Hathaway. Oh. Yeah, certain artists, like, you know, kind of once they've put their stamp on something, you know, you're not going to beat it.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat it. And that's the whole point of it, you know.
Yeah.
It's your personal spin, but you want yours to be the quintessential version. And if you can't have the quintessential version, just leave it alone.
Yeah. I got to highlight one name you threw out, and that's Donnie Hathaway.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, when you talk to most people, you know, in the streets, just average, his name never comes up when you talk about great vocalists.
Right.
When you talk to musicians,
yeah,
he's always there. They always talk about Donnie.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's a host of artists like that. Donnie Hathaway is one. To me, an artist like DJ Rogers is another. On the jazz side or the old pop side, which is still jazzy, people like Johnny Hartman, Michael Wyckoff, these were like amazing, phenomenal vocalists that kind of shaped me into who I am today. And, you know, I say their names, or John Lucien, you know, you say those names and it just kind of goes over people's heads. But, you know, those are the people that I kind of grew up on, and they were amazing vocalists, but you never hear their names mentioned, or very rarely hear their names mentioned.
Yeah. Is there one particular voice that you would say that helped to mold you most? I don't know if that's the right word, or inspire you.
No, you're right. Yeah. No, you're right. Luther. Definitely the first time I heard Luther was when he was with Change.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the radio, and they did not back announce who the artist was. And I sat there for hours waiting for them to play the record again. And then finally it said, Change. I think it was the Glow of Love was the record.
Yeah.
And then I heard a concert. It's the strangest concert that I've ever attended in my life. It was Change. It was Larry Graham. It was Sylvester featuring 2 Tons of Fun. And it was one other artist, but it was a strange show, right? And Change is opening up. Now you got to remember, this is a time before the internet. Change's singles or album covers did not have pictures, so you never saw who Change the group was. Yeah. It was like a drawing or something like that. So when the concert started, or when they started playing that song, everybody, I saw it at the Felt Forum in New York, which is the theater behind Madison Square Garden. It was called the Felt Forum back then. And they started playing The Glow of Love. Everybody in the audience sat on the edge of their seat because we heard this voice, but we didn't know who the person looked like. And then this big guy comes walking out from the side of the stage, and I'm like, no, can't be. This brother opened up his mouth. I was like, damn it, that's what I want to do.
Wow,
that's
really?
Who he was a big, beautiful tone, beautiful phrasing, the emotion that would, come from him when he sang.
Yeah.
He was just phenomenal. And I'd go see him in concert. At first it would be for the enjoyment of it. And then I would go see him to see if the brother was ever gonna make a mistake. I'm like, come on, man. Every night, you don't never make a mistake. Come on, Black. Come on, Black. Never made a mistake.
Man.
Never.
Really?
He may be a note option.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have chose another note, but never made a mistake, man. So I'm always chasing his ghost. Wow. He was phenomenal.
Dude was amazing, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't he incredible?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, man. When he first happened, when Never Too Much hit, and I was emceeing a concert that he opened up for, right? And that was his one hit. And but we had just started playing on the radio, "A House Is Not a Home" from the album, right? So he goes into that song, and oh man, the audience just lost it, man. They were so in love with this guy, and I'm so caught up in the moment, right? That I go on, I'm taking him off, and I go, man, you got to come back, do some more of that. Come on back. Luther comes back.
I ain't got no more.
But he comes back, goes back into that song for about a minute. They put the lights on him. Which was just awful. And I felt so bad. And I apologized to him like 20 years later for setting him up like that. It's like I'm caught up in the moment. It was like a Star is Born moment. Right? Promoters don't get caught up in those moments.
Yeah.
They're like, man, we got a hard out at 11:30.
11 o'clock, 11:30. Yeah.
But he was so cool about it. And he remembered it. He remembered it that from 20 years earlier.
Yeah, he was like that. Hey, lucky he didn't beat your head in, because he was something else.
Did you see the CNN piece, the documentary on it?
I did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. All the footage that they had in stock made it for me, man. It's, it makes you kind of rethink the way you do things. You want to document everything, just in case you have, that sort of, someone to throw those sort of accolades on you, and they can piece together this thing. When they went back to the Sesame Street days and him singing with David Bowie, and who had the wherewithal to have a camera back then in the studio filming this stuff while they were arranging, young Americans and all this stuff. So, it's great story, man. Great story. And they touched on everything that people wanted to know, sexuality and how he got sick and so we were in the movie theater, my wife and I, crying one minute and laughing the next.
Yeah.
Like he got everything he wanted.
Yeah.
He said, I want to be rich, I want to be famous. And then at the end of the piece, for those, you got to go see it now. I don't know my cameras. You got to, to find out that he could never find, true love. So any love, to find out the real definition behind that song. So yeah, great piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to clear something up, because you talked about how first time you heard Change and you had to listen to the radio for hours to hear it again. Some of the younger people listening might not understand that. They was like, why didn't you just Shazam
it? You're right.
Right.
You're right. Like they didn't have a clue what it was like. Well, who was that? They didn't announce it. Let me get my tape. You got to sit there for hours. You sit at the radio and at the speaker.
They just pull their phones out now.
I know, man. They don't
got the writers, they got everything on it right there on the phone. Man.
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Well, you did some radio, right?
I did.
You were doing radio for a while. How did you find that experience?
I found it fun until everybody was doing it. And then it made you not special. It was one of those things where you thinking that you're teaching someone, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and then everyone was doing radio. Everyone was doing TV. Everybody was doing interviews. Everybody was doing podcasts. Everybody was like, it's the curse of, technology.
Yeah.
The internet, greatest thing ever invented, or within the top 10 for me that's ever been invented. The absolute top 10 worst thing that's ever been invented at the same time.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, right now that conversation surrounds AI in particular.
Right.
Because it's like all the possibilities this thing creates are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then when you, on the other side of it, you get the guys that have created it going to Congress begging them for restrictions on this, control this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this that they're that scared of?
Yeah.
You know, that's frightening, man,
Well,
but exciting at the same time.
Exactly. It's one of those things that, you know, I make a joke about it. It's one of those things that you wish on someone that you don't like. You know, I hope AI takes your job. It used to be, yeah, your mama, like, yeah, you know what, I hope AI takes your job. Which is what it's doing with everything.
Yeah.
But it's given a new skew on everything with people, especially with the younger generation. Like, they don't even appreciate art anymore. Like, they don't appreciate someone with a pen or with a paintbrush and painting. And it's kind of, oh yeah, I say in the AI what I want, and it emulates it. And I combine Basquiat and somebody else at the same time, and then look what I came up with. Look what I created. Like, you didn't create anything. The computer created it.
Right.
So, but it gives people a false sense of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But, sad.
Yeah. You've sung with a lot of people through the years. Mm-hmm. Who are some of your favorites, and who do you wish you could have sung with, either dead or alive?
Luther. I would have loved to have done, a duet with him. Mm-hmm. And Al Jarreau, also someone I was heavily influenced by.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say those two, and I have artists that I work with to this day where we've never officially recorded together. So like a Layla Hathaway, we've done plenty of shows together, but we've never recorded together. And I think the blend of our voices would be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you this real quick story. I was with Al Jarreau hanging out. It had to be 1975.
Ooh.
Something like that, right? He was in Detroit, and somehow we found out that I work out, that I would go and run every day.
Oh, yeah,
and he used to be an
runner.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so we go to the track, and he says, I just do 20 minutes and whatever. So, okay. So we do that, and then we get through. I didn't know he was a quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he used to be a quarterback, I think in college. And so, I got football. I kept everything in my trunk, man. Anything broke out, I was ready for it. And, man, he had such a great arm. He threw the best pass I ever caught.
Really?
Was from Al Jarreau.
Well, see that? I should be sitting in this seat, and you should be sitting here. I should be interviewing you.
Not if that's my only claim to fame. You caught a pass from Al Jarreau.
and he probably sung behind it.
God, he was such a unique talent.
He was. He was an interesting person.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a character, man.
One of my favorite songs ever is Susan's Song.
Okay,
by Al Jarreau, man. It's like one of the greatest, I just call them late night songs. This is after midnight. It's just such a strong song. If you ever get a chance, you ought to check that out. Susan's Song. It's just,
My favorite was probably We Got By, where he could. I've always loved singers that could paint a picture when they sing.
Yeah. That's the same album.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's describing, like, we don't have much, but you bring the beans, I'm gonna bring the wine, but he could paint a picture.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed artists. I still do. Gregory Porter.
Yeah.
It's like that for me.
Yeah.
Gregory Porter, Diane Reeves, like when they sing, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can close your eyes and you can envision it. When he sings, I'm in the alley, like, go to the alley. It's like, oh man.
Wow.
Or it was 1968, he's just like, you're sitting there on the edge of your seat, like, come on, man, tell the story. So I've always wanted to be more like that. I don't think I've ever had that sort of talent, but I've always learned to appreciate folks that could paint a picture when they sing.
Wow. So do you write much?
I write.
Yeah. So
I write. I'm not great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was great, but I've covered quite a few folks that have been great. So
yeah.
Earlier
that's why I asked, because you do so many covers.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a sign, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, of a real artist, someone who really appreciates music.
Right.
And I always thought that of Aretha, because Aretha did a lot of covers, and people don't realize that.
Right.
But it's like if it's a good song, man,
You're right.
I want it. I want to do it.
Yeah, well, even we had mentioned Angela Bofill earlier.
Yeah.
People feel that way. I try. People have felt that sentiment. And if you can't write it any better, and she said it the way, this is what you're trying to say, then stop being an idiot and say it.
Get in the
Just
studio
do
and
it
say
again. And,
right.
you know, you ain't got to take all the money. I mean, if that's what it's really about, the greatest song that you can come up with. And she wrote a hell of a song with the song I Tried.
Yeah.
And then if a male vocalist doing it, it gives a male interpretation of a song originally written by a female artist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't want to be that artist with, you know, where you maintain your ego by keeping all your songs, but ain't none of them hits.
Right, exactly.
None of them work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, smart way of doing things.
Yeah. Now, you had health scare.
I did.
You know, what, 10 years or so ago now?
Longer than that. It was like 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the ignorant black man thing. I was sick, was going through some things and didn't go to the doctor. To the point where by the time I went to the doctor, I was crazy sick. And it was like, well, you know what? I don't know if we can help you. That sort of thing. Yeah, man, I dropped down to, believe it or not, about 135 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a stick. And they had written me off like a couple of times.
Wow.
And fortunately, it was something called polymyositis. And it's, for me, it's a muscular disease. And I just felt myself getting weaker and weaker when I was out on the road. So, but I kept making excuses. I would say, oh yeah, we did a show last night. That's why I can't, you know, oh yeah. We had 2 shows. Oh man, this travel's killing me. That's why I can't.
Yeah.
And then eventually it got to the point where I was having a difficult time walking. And then I finally had gone to the doctor. My wife had taken me to the doctor. And that day we went in, I ended up staying in the hospital for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much the next day or 2 days after, I was pretty much paralyzed from the waist down, and I could not move. So, yeah. So that was, yeah. Because I had never been to the hospital prior to that or anything like that. I'd never really been sick. Yeah. So I'm like, what I got? Wow. And then when we did find out, it was sort of, all right, has anyone had this before? And I'm reading up on it, and they're like, well, if you don't see a change within year 1 and year 5, within the first 5 years, then that's pretty much what you're going to be. What you see is what you get. You don't. Yeah, it ain't like for year 6 you're gonna pop up and you're gonna start. It's like you got this is a little window. And whatever you are, whatever happens in between this window is what you're going to be. And I had to relearn everything, man. I was in a hospital bed in a wheelchair for about a year and a few months. And then one day, I was able to do something I couldn't do the day before. And I was like, that was the inspiration. And it just got better from there. So I had to relearn how to walk, sing, talk, all of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so it was a solid 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I'm here.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
You're here. I ran into, and I didn't know this until I ran into this video just a couple of months ago, that you lost your daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to share the video. Okay.
Hey, I'm Will Downing. On January the 11th, 2023, I received a phone call from my ex-wife, who lived out on the West Coast. I live on the East, asking me if I had talked to our daughter, Erin Siobhan. I told her I hadn't talked to her in about 3 or 4 days. My daughter was known to go off the radar every once in a while, and you wouldn't hear from her. But it was cool. We were used to it. But this time it was a little different. When I was on the phone with her, I kept hearing commotion in the background. It's a lot of people. I said, well, who's there? He said, well, I'm at her house right now. I said, I'm with her friend, and I'm also with the police. I said, well, why? He said, she normally calls her friend every day, and she had not spoken to him in quite a few days, and they were concerned, so they were doing a wellness check. They tried to get into the front door of her house, couldn't get in, went to the back door, busted down the door, and then they found my daughter, unconscious, not moving. Checked her, dead. It's the phone call you never want to receive, saying that your child has passed on. You should never bury your child should bury you. So it's one of those type of things that you think about. But My child had suffered from, she was bipolar, depression, some bits of schizophrenia, tried everything that we could to help her in every way, but I guess the world became too much for her. So for those of you who are suffering from anything like that, please don't hesitate to get professional help, all right? I wrote a song to commemorate her life in celebration. So the name of the song is Till We Meet Again. And if this song relates to you in some sort of way, there'll be a message at the very end that you could call and maybe get the help that you need, or for someone that you know. God bless you. Once again, the name of the song is Till We Meet Again. It's me, Will Downing. Enjoy.
I wish you could tell me what the hell was on your mind. When I last talked with you, it seemed like you were doing fine. You were not alone, 'cause someone was watching over you. Till we meet again. Till we meet again. Dealing with the ups and downs of this life merry-go-round. You are much too young to be taking things so seriously. I know that you're safe, 'cause heaven's watching over you until we meet again. Till we meet again. Ooh, till we meet again. Till we meet again. You ascended, but the love I have for you is cemented right here in my heart. In my heart.
I'd like to call and say Happy New Year. Hope you have a wonderful, prosperous New Year. Woo-hoo. All right, love you. Bye.
Cemented right here in my heart. In my heart. Ooh, yeah. Till we meet. Know that we love you and miss you so. To the heavens to let you go. Till we meet. Know that we love you, but God's gonna hug you. Till I see your face again. 'Cause I truly believe this is not the end, not the end.
Man.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. I mean, it's, like, as a parent, it's every parent's greatest fear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was the worst phone call I've ever received.
Yeah.
And it's something I didn't fathom anything like this happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
January 11th, 2023, got that phone call, man. Unbelievable.
2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to share this with you because my mom lost one of her sons, my brother.
Right.
And, he'd been sick and we knew he was leaving. And so I went home. I was home for like 5 weeks in Detroit because I didn't want my mother to be alone when she lost a child. But the night she lost him, when he died, I mean, that moment she said, "Baby Harry's gone." And then she said, it was just so amazing to me, Will, because again, that's every parent's greatest fear. My mom said, "Oh my God, I was here for his birth. Now I'm here for his death."
Yeah.
I got to see his whole life. What a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get goosebumps telling you that right now.
Right.
Just how a woman that spiritual, how she flipped that fear on me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you have to look at it. After a while, you look at it as a celebration and not a,
Yeah.
Yeah, she was going through a lot, and we would have our weekly calls. And, she would dump the problems on me. I didn't know I was talking her down from suicide.
Wow.
I had no clue. She would just say, because it was a conversation as cavalier as we're having right now, just sort of, "Hey, man, had a rough day at work today. Oh, this person, and I ain't making enough money." And so it would be common stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that every conversation I was talking her down from doing what she ultimately ended up doing. So, it's one of those things where every day you sit there, I mean, to this day, I sit there and I put a composite together of like, what did I do wrong? What did I say? What didn't I say? What did I do? What didn't I do? And you go through this every day because she didn't leave a paper trail as to why.
Yeah.
And she was going on a lot of trips and things like that. And I was, where's she going on all these trips? Where you get all this money from? You're not thinking that she's kind of, this is on my bucket list. We say it.
Wow.
We say it cavalierly all the time. Yeah. On my bucket list, my bucket list, my bucket list. But it's real. It's real. She was going down her bucket list. Like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. I'm going. Yeah. And she did all these things. Then I didn't hear from her for a few weeks. But she would do that. And then finally I called, my ex-wife. I was like, "Hey, have you talked to her?" Like, "Nah, you know how she gets." It's like, might want to go by there. Nah, she's fine. And finally convinced her to go. And found her. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So the song was to honor her.
Yeah. Well, you honored her well. I mean,
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. I love the fact that you put the 988 number up to make other people find themselves in that situation. Don't be afraid or ashamed to seek help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you seek help? I mean, in terms of therapy behind this?
I probably should have. I've talked to a few people, but
Yeah.
There's a couple of things black folks don't speak about, and
that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because I know it's kind of taboo.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but I fall into that category where you have a problem. I well up. Even when you initially brought it up, as soon as you said it, and I knew that you were going to play the video, and I was well aware of it, but it's just something. It just hits you. Yeah. And you realize there's something deep down inside and you need help. But, I'm that hard-headed black man. I'm gonna sing my way through it, whatever it is. Get a nice piece of chicken or something like that.
Well, you were talking about that earlier in terms of your health.
Right.
It's just like just men are like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why women outlive us. Right. Because we're like, man, it ain't nothing. It's just his arm. Yeah. I got another one. It's just a lung. I got,
Yeah. I'll be good.
No big
Kidney,
deal, you
yeah.
know. Man up.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Man, I learned from watching my wife, man. It's like anything goes wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that old school. I just told on myself. I picked up a
You
I meant like this.
You didn't reach up your pocket. You didn't do I'm like, yeah, let me, hold on. Right. Hey, you see, I didn't say anything. I was right along with you.
Trying to be cool.
I was like, hey, no, yeah. Wow. You got a push button phone? That's on that rotary.
Oh, too funny. Man, you are really something, Will. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess for everyone, life has its trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
You know, but you get through it. I mean, as they say, life be lifing.
Life be life. And hey,
You
listen,
know,
the longer you live, the more you're going to see.
Yeah.
You know, and some
Right.
of it you're going to like, and some of it you ain't going
Right.
to like. That's what it is. I'd always heard that phrase, and then the older I've gotten, like, I didn't know I'd ever get sick. And who knew? I have a crystal ball. Who knew that this was going to happen?
Yeah.
So the highs have been unbelievably high,
Yeah.
and the lows have been unbelievably low.
Yeah.
But I'm still here,
Still here.
for a reason.
Well, I'm glad you are, bro.
Yeah, man, me too. And it's, great to see you doing what you do
Thank
very
you,
well.
man. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
You too,
Thanks
sir.
for coming to do this, man. I really appreciate it.
thank you for
bro.
having me, sir.
Really good to see you. God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
man. You too, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Will
you.
Downing, our guest today here on the Donnie Simpson Show. So until next time, remember to shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll be among the stars. God bless you. Peace.